SugarCRM, they have a little bit of low code, no code. I think it will also require consulting help. HubSpot is probably going to have the easiest model. Zoho also has some sort of low code, no code, so it's not going to require as much effort as Salesforce for the customization, but the data model is going to be limited. So again, you get one thing. Do you need ease of customization, or do you need super scalability where you can accommodate any business models, any number of business objects in whatever layers and no limitations of those business objects?
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. And if you're joining for the first time, this is part of our industry series for which we meet every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We review one vendor or the solution. And for today, we have a very special vendor. It's SugarCRM, so it's going to be sweet.
It's going to be sweet. You took that one away from me.
Yeah,
you said it before I could say it.
We are going to have a lot of sweet jokes from Andy. Generally, they are sweet. Today, they are going to be sweeter. So we are going to have a lot of fun discussing this. Before we do that, we are going to start with our sweet intros. Sam Gupta, Sam Gupta, principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP, CRM, and digital transformation consulting firm. On that note, Andy, do you want to go next?
I would love to. And as always, Sam, thank you so much for inviting me. I always enjoy the heck out of these and learn a lot out of these podcasts. As I mentioned, I have to leave halfway through today, so I hope I can contribute until then. But I've been involved in ERP software for manufacturers all my life. I'm actually rather embarrassed, considering this is my career choice, of the bad or poor customer satisfaction for ERPs. And there's a lot of reasons why companies end up not liking what they buy. So I do tend to give a lot of advice over the years, what I've learned about how to uncover the truth about ERP software. And as a matter of fact, as I just told the two of you, it was my birthday on Saturday, so now I'm definitely the oldest ERP person in the world.
Happy birthday, Andy, again. Swesta, do you want to go next?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Hi, everyone. My name is Shrestha Das, and I'm part of the marketing team at Elevate IQ. I'm excited to be back here.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Shrestha. It's always nice to see you.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, amazing, guys. All right, so if you're in the audience and joining for the first time, make sure you guys post your questions and comments. We are a big fan of creating that three-way conversation. We always look forward to your stories, comments, and experiences that you might have had with SugarCRM. So looking forward to those. On that note, guys, I'm actually going to start with the quick briefing today, and Dave is going to be a little bit late. Hopefully he joins soon. He's running late today because of meeting. So overall, I guess we have done a lot of different CRM marketing automation. So for the most part, as the name suggests, SugarCRM, that's probably going to be in that CRM bucket. They have come a long way. And overall, I guess their journey, the way they started, they were more of the open source platform. That was the hottest thing, I guess, once upon a time. Even today, I was reading a news article yesterday that somebody is trying to create the open source strategy again for a CRM. Can you believe this? In 2024, for whatever reason, I don't know, but seems like there is a play. So that's what Sugar did. I mean, they were very popular in the open source community among IT folks, especially among companies who were slightly more cost sensitive in general. So they were very, I would say, on-prem centric installation. But then things changed when investors got involved. They killed the whole open source strategy. and then focused more on the commercial offering. And in my mind, I think that's when Sugar CRM got real traction. And now it's a very good product, I would say.
It's
And
very popular.
it was very popular among IT, I would say.
Okay.
Developers, they wanted to customize, and that's why it was popular. But now there are other reasons for it to be popular. That now this is slightly serious product, I would say.
And would you mind describing what open source means? I know most people will probably understand, but not everyone.
Yeah, great question. And I think we should do that. So thank you so much for pointing that out. So overall, I guess open source is going to have many, many, many different layers. Number one, the source is open, and that's why the name open source, which means that anybody has access to code. They can do whatever they want with it. The community is working on that. So sometimes, I mean, there is an understanding that your cost is probably going to be, subsidized depending upon how you look at the cost. For the most part, the code is going to be free. It's not going to be licensed, but there might be sometimes enterprise versions available as well that they are, and enterprise is a term that is used for from the licensing perspective. They might not be positioned for enterprise companies. So these are some of the layers, I guess, from the open source perspective. But in my mind, to be completely honest, it's almost like a business model. Just the way your freemium model works. It's not that you are going to get everything for free. When you have the freemium model, it's almost like a lead generation strategy for companies. Uh,
It's a taste.
exactly. I mean, you don't get anything for free, I guess, in the world, right? And if you get, then you are going to get a lot of baggage with it. We all know this. So that's why I'm personally not a big fan of open source strategy in general, especially when we are talking about serious business, serious workloads. You require a lot more enterprise backing behind a software. And even if, let's say, the code base is going to be open source, I mean, the UI, the UX, there are so many different things that goes along with the software. And that's why if you look at Sugar CRM, I mean, sure, it was popular, but it was never as mainstream as something like Salesforce or HubSpot.
No,
It's never going to get the same ecosystem, the attention.
and it's less expensive, right? So that's going to motivate
To
a
some
certain
extent,
target market.
I would say the reason why you found this popular, to be completely honest, Andy, is because if you go for any of the industrial sectors, manufacturing, industrial distribution, they were very popular. They were
Yeah,
very, very, very
that's
popular.
correct. That's where obviously the target that I'm most aware of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the reality is that manufacturing, industrial distribution companies, to be completely honest, they were not very technology savvy. They were not
No,
very customer experience savvy, I would say.
or even CRM savvy.
Exactly, and they are very, very, very cost sensitive is probably the right term. If I could use
Mhm.
price sensitive, probably at least on IT
Frugal,
spending, they just don't like that.
very
Um,
frugal.
yeah, yeah. I was trying to avoid that term, but sure.
Well, it's a sweet term.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon has that as a strategy, I guess. Uh,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
yeah, so obviously, so this is a very interesting, software, at least in 2024, because their strategy changed completely. There are some very savvy investors involved now with Sugar CRM that we are going to review as well, as we move along with the presentation. But overall, I guess, one thing that we have done as part of these sessions is that if you are joining, for the first time, or if you have never reviewed any of our sessions that we have done in the past, there are certain things that we like to touch from the logistics perspective. The content sources that we are trying to utilize are all public sources. So for this particular presentation, since this is not a public company, we don't necessarily have the financial, statements, and that is always going to be our first preference because in our experience, that's where the truth is. And sometimes when they are targeting investors, they are slightly more savvy than users. So you get slightly deeper intel, I would say, in the financial statement. So that's why that is our first preference. Then we utilize a lot of historical, stories where they were, what is their evolution, whether they changed their story, or not, what kind of strategies have they incorporated as part of their, go-to-market strategies. So we are looking at all of that. Then we connect the dots with the product design. If the product design is also consistent with marketing is trying to say, so we are sort of trying to connect the dots. Then we are doing pricing tier analysis as well as the user commentary, which is going to come from either Reddit threads or some of the reviews. So those are different sources that we have utilized for this one as well. So I'll keep moving here. So I guess if you look at their positioning in one sentence, then their positioning, in my mind at least, is going to be, they are very, very, very trade centric. And those are the kind of layers that you are going to find, the kind of logos that they are able to win. They are very well aligned with a lot of manufacturing ERP systems as well. And there is always a little bit of political play when you are sort of dealing with the ERP vendors, to be completely honest. And the reason for that is, if you look at manufacturing vendors, and one of the major ones obviously are going to be vendors such as Infor. And Infor has sort of kind of played the dance. They have sort of gone back and forth in terms of their CRM strategy. They had acquired a CRM product and they wanted to kind of compete with Salesforce, but then they decided that it's probably not the smartest idea. So now I don't think they are competing with Salesforce anymore. Sage always had taken sort of the backseat in terms of their CRM strategy. They were always like that, okay, I'm going to create best of suite experience. I'm going to hang out with every single CRM vendors out there. Sage also had their own sort of CRM product, but it was never mainstream. So these vendors have sort of played hide and seek, I would say, in terms of the CRM market, and they were obviously not very successful.
Well, I think the Infor CRM product was actually purchased from Sage because it used to be called Sales Logics.
Interesting. So I'm not aware of that. So great details, Andy. Are you sure about that?
I'm
that's
certain.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe so.
And Sales Logics actually was or is a strong, similar type functionality system as Salesforce. It's just it doesn't get the same marketing effort or the same positioning that Salesforce does. That's for sure.
Yeah, so software product is not just the product itself. I guess it's a lot more than that. And that's where most people don't understand that. Yes, you are right that Infor product or the Sales Logic product is probably going to be very similar. It has amazing user experience, but it is never going to become mainstream. It never became mainstream. I guess Sage had learned their lesson in terms of what they didn't want to do, and then Infor acquired, and now Infor probably learned their lesson.
Sage learned their lesson and dumped it.
Exactly, and now Infor learned their lesson.
That's right.
So I guess, and if you look at the other manufacturing vendors at this point of time, for example, let's say Epicor, Syspro, who else am I missing here? Plex.
There's hundreds.
QADs, right? So these guys, if you look at their alignment, they have very close alignment with your SugarCRM at this point of time. I don't know if Epicor has a real CRM product. Obviously, CRM component is going to be included as part of ERP, and sometimes people sort of get confused between a real CRM product versus the CRM module of the ERP. Both are probably going to be required, just to maintain the transactional integrity, I guess, between two systems. So don't get confused. Just because a company has a CRM module as part of their ERP, that's not a CRM product. CRM product inherently is very, 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 very different. It serves very different purpose, and the module of ERP is not meant to serve the same purpose. So just to be clear on that, Infor has a best of breed CRM product along with having the CRM module of the majority of their ERP system. So it's not just the CRM module itself. Sage, a lot of ERP systems that they have, they don't even have CRM module as part of their ERP. So it's kind of a tricky spot to be, I guess, from the Sage's perspective. So overall, I guess from the strategy perspective, if you look at the majority of the ERP vendors, they all are trying to go along with SugarCRM because Salesforce right now is very, 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 very heavy and powerful. So that's why they are trying to align with slightly more tier 2 vendors, I would say. HubSpot.
Most every ERP now integrates at some level with Salesforce.
It does, but I mean, they don't have the same alignment in my mind. I don't think they have the alignment where both of the vendors are sort of co-promoting. I don't
Mhm.
think Salesforce like to promote any of the ERP vendors. They just don't like it. I mean, the way they are selling, I guess, is that ERP sucks and you should be utilizing Salesforce. Uh, that's their marketing strategy.
Yeah,
Um,
well, that's sure. That's a good strategy, I guess, as long as you're leading like they are.
Yeah, I mean, and it works. So I don't blame them at all, to be completely honest. But Sugar is taking a slightly different strategy. I don't think they are playing that strategy. What strategy they are playing is that both of these need to get along and they are sort of co-promoting, co-marketing. And now I think in 2024, people have a little bit more recognition of the CRM category that they are not sort of trying to compete and they are trying to get along. That's my understanding of the CRM and ERP market. They have distinct positioning, I would say, in general. So here, going back to their overall positioning, I guess. So they are going to be for B2B, SMB, trade-centric companies. That is going to be. They also have very unique layer of subscription-centric, and that is something that we have not seen in any other CRM platforms. Even with Salesforce, I don't think you are going to find very rich subscription-centric functionality. You have to go for something like Zora, right? Zora is the subscription product. Yeah, that's the pure play SaaS product for subscription. So you are not going to find the real, subscription play even with your HubSpot and Salesforce, even though their ecosystems are so big. But they are going to have many different products that are sort of collaborating in those ecosystems. But again, you are not going to find the native functionality, and that's a big deal, guys. In general, one of the layers that we saw when we were reviewing Pipedrive, and I don't know whether you guys remember this or not, Pipedrive also had very unique layers. They sort of had this whole document management functionality as well as CPQ functionality built as part of their product. And CPQ is always a very tricky offering to be able to incorporate inside your CRM, because the moment you are going to incorporate, then you sort of tight couple yourself with specific industries. And what Salesforce and HubSpot and Microsoft, and in general some of the vanilla ERP vendors, what they are trying to do is they are taking slightly more platform centric strategy, where they are going to have generalized platform for a lot of industries, and then you have to sort of plug and play a lot of different pieces together, for it to work. Sometimes that strategy is okay, but other times it does fire back in big time. And
Well, the
depending
other
upon,
the other thing, Sam, is that implementing CPQs are commonly as sophisticated and stressful as implementing an ERP. So all of a sudden, you're putting this whole layer of complexity into your simple CRM system.
exactly, in some industries, CPU is probably going to be your bread and butter, to be completely honest. I mean, they
Oh,
don't
no
even care.
question.
Yeah, they don't even care for ERP because
No
estimation
question.
is where they make money. So yeah, so CPQ becomes very tricky in general, and that's what you are going to get with Sugar as well. That they are going to have, and subscription billing is even trickier. It's very 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 hard, And I think if I remember correctly, we saw this functionality in just or Andy remind me, the last product that we had reviewed, which one was that? The Yagpo, I guess, right? Yagpo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yagpo had a lot of subscription-centric functionality as well, but that subscription-centric functionality is not going to be applicable for these industries. Sugar is also targeting industries such as your financial services, IT, which is going to have very different subscription-centric functionality. Versus, let's say, if you have a subscription for a gift or milk,
Yeah.
that's a very different subscription than a subscription for a, let's say, financial product or some sort of IT product or something along those lines. So these two are very 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 different and distinct offerings.
I have a question for you, Sam,
Yeah,
just in case you don't get to this topic
yeah,
before I have to leave today
yeah,
in 10 minutes. But
yeah,
one of the functions that people really like when they're doing, like, most most CRM systems have some type of an email marketing capability built in,
yeah.
where they can, do email blasts to specific target audience. Uh, but I've been finding a lot of people are really hoping or wishing the CRM also has a measurement of clicks and opens. Have
Yeah.
you heard of a CRM that has that functionality?
So generally, let's say even if you're going to look at your Salesforce and HubSpots of the world,
Yeah.
what makes them powerful is the ecosystem that they have. So they are probably going to have millions of technologies, and they are very easy
Okay.
to integrate.
Gotcha.
You don't require a consultant in most cases to be able to integrate. because they don't have the same transactional dependencies that you are going to have with the ERP centric offerings or the transactional centric offerings. In fact, the reason why companies sort of hate Salesforce, uh, you'll be surprised they do. They hate Salesforce as well, as much as they hate ERP, and they hate SugarCRM. And the reason why they hate SugarCRM, sometimes Zoho as well, because these CRMs are designed for slightly more transactional workflows as opposed to free. What is that fluid workflow that you're going to find with your marketing automation? Marketing automation, the way the whole data model is designed, sometimes they don't even have any sort of data model, no transactional integrity whatsoever. For email marketing, that's completely okay. But when you have to gather the analytics that you're looking for, so one of the challenges that they are going to get is it's going to be really hard for them to get the accurate data and insights. And that is not possible unless you have some traffic rules with your data and the data model underneath. So you get one thing: either you get ease of use or you get accurate data or insight. So what do you need?
Everyone wants ease of use when they first review these systems, but then after they get in the middle of them, they realize that ease of use means it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. And that's where the challenge is. Again, in some use cases, for example, that's why the marketing automation is a very different product. It's a very different technology. It's very different data model. And that's why marketing automation centric software, they can come across as slightly easier in general. That is never going to be the case with the systems that are going to be designed for slightly more downstream workflows. And SugarCRM in this particular case is going to be designed for downstream centric offerings. They are not going to be as strong, from the upstream marketing perspective. And this is going to be the same position that your Salesforces or Zohos of the world are going to have. Pipedrive also is slightly more downstream centric software. I would not say that's majorly upstream. When you look at marketing automation software, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, these are going to be slightly more marketing automation centric software. Zendesk CRM is going to be much smaller compared to your SugarCRM. Monday.com is a sort of a platform. Some companies use it as CRM, but then you are going to require building a lot on top of Monday.com. Insightly is probably going to be very similar to SugarCRM, the way Insightly is designed, the way the product
is Monday thought of as a CRM system? I thought it was more of a project management system.
Both.
Okay.
Monday.com is a spreadsheet. You can mold it the way you like. You can
okay.
create ERP systems, CRM systems, whatever system, and
ERPs, elemental Ps, whatever you want.
Exactly, it's a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll keep going here. So some of the industries where you are going to find the major presence of your SugarCRM is probably going to be manufacturing, industrial, traditional, trade-centric industries, IT, financial services. That's where they are majorly present. And these industries are going to have unique challenges which are aligned to the core of their product, where they have real deep capabilities compared to other CRM systems, for example, HubSpot or Salesforce. I'll keep moving here. So I did some changes here. So guys, I think you are going to appreciate this. This is probably what most people are looking for when they are looking for, hey, give me the independent review of any specific product. So we have compared this with the major, products that you should be comparing it with. And this is what we are going to do with every single product that we review. So you at least have the snapshot version of, let's say, if you want to do free assessment, free evaluation of whatever software that you might be working with. So this is exactly what you need. And we have that ready to go, for you. So I'll be touching on all of these categories where their positioning is, what is going to be their pros and cons. So for example, SugarCRM, the core positioning of that is going to be that if you are going to be on any of the leading ERP systems in the manufacturing space, for example, Epic or Syspro, Plex, that's where you are going to find the real alignment of your SugarCRM product. And if integration is going to be a factor for you, then I highly recommend that you look at SugarCRM in general. Then if you have subscription-based business model, and you want to keep that functionality inside your CRM, then you definitely want to look at SugarCRM. Code-centric capabilities. Again, if you are keeping those CPU processes inside the CRM and you are going to use those processes, and you are not going to use an external CPU product, or you are not hosting these processes inside ERP, then this could be a great system as well. In general, I think when you compare this with HubSpot, Pipedrive, then it is going to be slightly more customizable because it comes from a very technical background in general. But if you look at Salesforce is probably going to be a lot more customizable, but then you are probably going to require a lot of development effort, consulting effort to be able
Care
to
and
customize.
feeding.
Sorry, what's that, Andy?
Care and feeding.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So
Admin.
Salesforce, yeah,
Admin. Yeah.
yeah. So Salesforce is going to be it's going to require a lot more consulting development help in general. SugarCRM, they have a little bit of low code, no code. I think it will also require consulting help. HubSpot is probably going to have the easiest model. Zoho also has some sort of low code, no code, so it's not going to require as much effort as Salesforce, for the customization, but the data model is going to be limited. So again, you get one thing. Do you need ease of customization, or do you need super scalability where you can accommodate any business models, any number of business objects in whatever layers and no limitations of those business objects? If you need all of that, then obviously you should be looking at slightly more enterprise-centric platforms. That is going to be Salesforce. But if you don't want all of those layers complexity, then look for slightly more smaller systems. And SugarCRM is going to be smaller system than your Salesforce. HubSpot is slightly more in the marketing automation bucket. It's not as strong for the transaction scenarios, downstream centric scenarios, and that's where your SugarCRM, Salesforce, Pipedrive, and Zoho, they are going to be slightly stronger fit. If you're looking for core CRM capabilities as opposed to upstream marketing capabilities, if you need upstream marketing capabilities, then HubSpot is a much better fit. They are going to have far richer ecosystem in general. Overall, in terms of the cons of SugarCRM, I would say their ecosystem is not going to be as developed, and ecosystem is very important for the CRM products. The reason for that is because, Andy, I don't know whether you have seen this or not, but for sales scenarios, for marketing scenarios, you are looking at integration with your telephony systems. You are looking at integration with a lot of different data vendors. You are looking at integration with I don't know how many different vendors. And that's why CRM is so powerful. Salesforce is so powerful because all of those vendors are already hanging out in these ecosystems. They might have some sort of pre-integrated capabilities. Sometimes they might work, sometimes they don't. But at least they're going to have some sort of presence, at least in those spaces. So, which is a huge plus for most CRM systems. That is something that you're not going to find with Sugar. So that's where you are going to be investing a lot more in integrating those capabilities. But they are working towards that. They have ecosystem. They just don't have as many as Salesforce and HubSpot. Now, ideal fit, I think we have already discussed for SugarCRM that's going to be for trade-centric industries, manufacturing, IT-centric industries, primarily mid-market, not enterprise, and any sort of subscription-centric business model. That's where they're going to have a real play. Overall, I guess, touching on Salesforce, primarily from SugarCRM perspective. So I think we have already touched on a lot of these points that this is going to be enterprise grade. Ecosystem is probably going to be much stronger from the Salesforce perspective. And then they are going to have the enterprise grade CPQ and field services. But sometimes that could require a lot of development consulting as well, compared to what you will be investing with SugarCRM. Now, the cons from Salesforce perspective, one of the things that you're going to find is it's probably going to be very expensive in general. So again, if you are on budget mid-market, then probably look for SugarCRM. Salesforce could be a little heavy. HubSpot. Overall, I guess if your goal is going to be from the upstream marketing perspective, then HubSpot is probably going to be a better fit. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy, for joining. Okay, so HubSpot is going to be important for upstream marketing. If that is going to be your focus, that is your priority, then go for it. But then it's going to be weaker on the transactional capabilities, the workflow capabilities that you're going to find with SugarCRM. Pipedrive, as we have discussed, some of their differentiators. So again, if you're looking for slightly easier solution, but easier means they are probably going to have a lot more prescriptive processes. You are going to have slightly more flexible process, I would say, inside SugarCRM. Pipedrive may be a lot more constraining in general compared to SugarCRM. So that is something you need to keep in mind. you're going to find some of the coding capabilities, but those coding capabilities are going to be fairly limited. In general, that might be okay. Let's say if you're looking for slightly more e-commerce centric shops, but they might not be okay for detailed capabilities, especially if you are going to be in the industrial spaces and you are much deeper in the sort of the financials, in the layers of financials that you need to incorporate as part of your estimation, etc. If that is your priority, then Pipedrive may not be the best fit. Zoho CRM is probably going to be the right comparable for SugarCRM as well. I don't think Salesforce is a fair comparison for SugarCRM. Pipedrive or Zoho CRM is probably the a better fit in general. The best advantage that you're going to find with Zoho CRM is going to be that their UI is going to be much better. UX is probably going to be much better compared to SugarCRM. And the low code, no code um, workflows that they have. SugarCRM, you are still going to find some of the UI workflows that are going to be traditional, I would say. They are not as modern, from the screen perspective, but Zoho is going to be slightly newer. But then Zoho has its own limitations. Their data centers are not necessarily connected, and then the data models are not also connected with the other apps that they have in their portfolio. So these are going to be some of the pros and cons of different solutions that we have compared to your SugarCRM. So now we'll go to the details and touch on the historical stories, discuss their evolution. So going back to 2015, and 2015, they had announced that the company was positioned in the leader quadrant for SaaS CRM in Expertise Group Cloud Vendor Benchmark. So they were positioned since 2015, I would say, and then they are claiming that certified SugarCRM has increased in competition strength in Germany. So for some reason, they seem to have base in Germany and the roots in Germany. So I don't know. Sometimes the alignment with the specific geo and country helps as well. So if you are probably going to be in Germany, since they have had their base there, then you will find a lot more layers from that country perspective inside SugarCRM. So that is something to keep in mind in general when you are evaluating this. Then they have some comments here. They are saying global strategic partnership with T-Systems to provide enterprise level CRM for security conscious organizations. So overall, I guess SugarCRM was always very deep from the security perspective. So what that means is that you are going to have a lot more user workflows or the security workflows that are going to be baked as part of the your data model, but because of that, it's probably going to be much harder to use. For example, let's say if you look at other CRMs, HubSpot, etc., their security layers are not going to be as detailed, so they will come across as slightly easier to use. So that is something to keep in mind. In general, SugarCRM was very IT heavy. They had a lot of things from the IT perspective. And those are the things that the majority of the larger organizations are going to need. Salesforce in general had a lot of these capabilities always. Then they have some more comments here. They are saying hosted in the data centers for T-Systems maintained by T-Systems employees. So they were always hosted inside a data center. So they were very on-prem centric play, and that was their secret sauce, especially for organizations that were not ready to pay for such a fee for Salesforce or HubSpot. Then they would go for something like this, and then they would host their own instance inside their own data center. But now things have changed, I guess, in 2024. Some more comments here from 2015 as well. So here they are saying, okay, this is also the analyst commentary, and here they are saying that it has been placed in the as a visionary in Magic Quadrant for Salesforce automation. So for whatever reason, I mean, they were perceived as more of the Salesforce automation, back in the days. And Salesforce automation is not necessarily full-blown CRM category. Salesforce automation is a very different category in general. If you look at SAP, they are going to have the independent module for Salesforce automation. There are best of breed software for Salesforce automation. In general, the kind of categories that are going to be part of Salesforce automation is going to be probably a lot of sales planning, sales compensation. You have CPQ that is generally part of that. In SAP's portfolio, there is a product called Kailadas Cloud. I guess they were sort of bundled as part of the whole Salesforce automation category. So it's very interesting, and I'm pretty sure if we go back to 2015 quadrant for Salesforce automation, we are probably going to find SugarCRM and maybe Callidus Cloud as well. I don't know if they existed at that point of time. One more comment from 2015. So here they are saying that today announced that two companies, I guess one from Brazil, one from USA, are using IBM Marketing Cloud and SugarCRM, and they, for whatever reason, they had very tight alignment with IBM. Back in the days, and when IBM used to have IBM Commerce product, now they don't have that IBM Commerce product anymore. It's owned by HCL. So I don't know if they still have that alignment, but that product, we are not sure whether that product is going to have a future, but seems like they had very tight alignment. So if you are going to be in those ecosystems, then you probably should be looking at this as well. I don't have anything else here. I'll keep moving. So now we are in 2016, and here they have one more comment here. The SugarCRM and IBM Marketing Cloud Solution part of the IBM Commerce portfolio. So again, some more comments coming in 2015, 2016. So they were doing a lot of work in IBM portfolio, but again, that strategy did not work for IBM. So I don't know if SugarCRM is still doubling down on that strategy in 2024. I don't believe so, but they seem to have a very tight alignment there. In 2016, so this is the acquisition story. So they are saying that they have acquired the property rights and other assets of Contastic, an NLP platform that is designed to automatically recommend the best content for individuals to send their contacts. So this seems almost like the content recommendation platform in my mind, and that would be more of the, you would see this, let's say if you go review which one was that, the Bloomreach product trust, I guess Optimizely is going to be another one where you would find the content recommendation use cases. I believe we found this with Braze when we reviewed that, and again, this is going to be useful. Let's say, I don't know if this is going to be applicable more for the users or the website, but this is probably for email, and that's why they had acquired this. So this is a very interesting acquisition in 2016. Maybe they were trying to get market share inside the marketing automation space. So now this also, so going back a little bit, so 2015, one more story here. So one more acquisition. So here they are saying they have acquired the assets of Stitch, leading developer of personal assistant technologies that enhance productivity for mobile users. So that's a very interesting acquisition as well. So I think SugarCRM always had a lot more capabilities from the sales enablement perspective. So that's why they may have acquired this from the mobile perspective. So again, very interesting acquisition. 2016, they had announced a new plugin for Sugar, the customer journey plugin from Adobe. This new enterprise solution automates complex business processes and maps them to the customer journey. So again, this is more of the customer journey visualization tool. It's almost like back in the days, whatever you had for process mining, this is going to be sort of the customer journey mining inside a browser, very truncated version of that. But seems like they have acquired. I don't know if they still use it today, but very interesting play there. 2016, one more announcement here. This is today announced the availability of the SugarCRM platform on IBM Think Marketing, a new one-stop destination for marketers to gain knowledge, learn skills, and ultimately drive a digital transformation within their business, which is great. But I don't know if, as of today, Think Marketing exists or not. So that's a very interesting story as well. But again, we have seen at least in 3 stories that they had very tight alignment with IBM. Now we are in 2017, and they are saying today announced a number of new features to Sugar Mobile. It's industry leading app for smartphones and tablet CRM users. So again, in 2017, you are going to have big push for mobility, and they had to do a lot more work I guess, in the mobile space, because their core platform, I don't think the core technology was designed for mobility, and that's why they had to do a lot of acquisition as well as the feature announcement. So again, this is a very interesting story as well. Um, Now, here they are also talking about support for Apple Touch ID. And Apple Touch ID, I don't think we have seen that anywhere, to be completely honest. So I don't know how that is going to be relevant. In general, if you look at Apple ecosystem, the marketers that are going to be aligned to Apple are probably going to be in very design-centric ecosystem, and they are probably going to want slightly newer platforms. I would say maybe Marketo is probably going to be a better aligned product. So I don't know what they were trying to do, but again, these are some of the features which tells that they were pushing very technical features which might not have as much relevance in the business. But 2017 they were a very different product, so they have come a long way. Uh, Here they are talking about customers can add their own company name and logo. Uh, and again, this is also like splash feature, great feature, but what is the value for the business? I guess. I mean, that's where my concern would be. So they were releasing a lot of technical features, and this is before their private equity acquisition. So obviously, probably they didn't know as much, what they were doing before overall from the product strategy perspective. That's why we had all of these stories, but things changed after the acquisition. So we are going to review those stories as well. Then they are saying by using app wrapping, Sugar administrators can control who gets access to these Sugar CRM. And again, I don't know how many admins are going to care for that. Maybe that feature is demanded by a lot of IT folks, which is great. But again, IT is not the primary consumer for CRM platforms, and that's why their say is not going to be as relevant as sales guys who are probably going to be the real users. So again, these features I don't know how relevant they are. But they were really trying to push a lot of enterprise security features, which is great, but I don't know, how much they help. Now they have one more announcement here. Deep linking allows links to be created that push a user directly into a record or page in Sugar CRM mobile. Again, very technical capabilities. I don't know what that does, to be completely honest, and how that will be useful for the business. So yeah, so very, very, very technical focus. Now 2017 is still, so here they are saying availability of the latest version of Sugar on Demand. The fall 17 update marks the beginning of accelerated innovation and more frequent cloud releases from Sugar CRM. Great. But it doesn't have a lot of meat there. So yeah, we'll probably focus on the next story. 2018 is when Excel got involved, KKR got involved. A leading technology-focused private equity firm has made a strategic and significant investment in Sugar CRM. So that this is when you are probably going to find a lot more exciting updates inside Sugar's portfolio, and we are going to review them quickly. So here has forged a new partnership with the joint chiropractic, an emerging growth company that is reinventing chiropractic by making quality care convenient and affordable. Now there is a little bit of trend here. If you look at this market space, this was more of the franchise-centric, market space. And such, I don't know whether you remember this or not. We saw this with Active Campaign. They were trying to commercialize there in that space. So now these guys have a little play there as well. I don't know how much capabilities they're going to have, from that perspective. But this is a very interesting update that they could target these guys, and these guys are using Sugar CRM. 2019. So 2019, it has acquired the Collab Spot email integration products from Collab Spot. These tools provide improved integration with email, taking another step towards Sugar CRM's vision to deliver the most intuitive and collaborative user experience, whilst eliminating all the data entry. So now, again, I think what Sugar CRM was trying to do in 2019 is, once the private equity got involved, that they were trying to create all of those three buckets that 90% of the CRM platforms are going to have right now in 2024. So great job there, Excel and KKR, the direction that they had taken in 2019, and this is where they got the email capabilities, and they had changed the positioning as well, that we are going to review in just a second. So 2019, one more update. The company, and they had acquired, I guess, Sales Fusion. We have a story for that as well. So Sales Fusion, they have announced a little integration with the Google Ads. And again, these integrations are going to be super important from the upstream marketing perspective. Now we are still in 2019, and here they are saying um, complete view of their data, and both historical and forward looking, with its time aware customer experience platform. The time aware foundation is one of a kind, recording, storing, and making available all of the data needed to intelligently forecast the future of businesses of all sizes. Huh. Now, time aware is a very interesting positioning. We have never seen that from any other CRM vendor so far, at least the ones that we have reviewed. So it's very interesting. The only time aspect, Shasta, you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just asking, what do you mean by time aware?
Exactly. I guess, I mean, that's probably going to be a question for me as well. And that's probably going to be a question for them that, okay, how are they positioning the time aware? I think what they are trying to say is the whole data piece. They are storing a lot more data, and based on that, they are able to provide sort of the SNOP kind of capabilities, and those capabilities are going to be relevant in a lot of manufacturing trade centric spaces, but generally they reside in the SNOP category. They don't reside in CRM. If you go to Salesforce, Salesforce tries to develop a lot of SNOP capabilities because a lot of resellers that we have or the consultants that we have in the Salesforce ecosystem, they don't necessarily understand the other categories. So they try to over engineer those capabilities inside your Salesforce, and sometimes the implementation is all over the place because of that. So I think that's what SugarCRM is trying to say here. Overall, from their time aware capabilities, but time aware is very misleading, very confusing. In my mind at least. And the reason for that is because um, if you look at the time aspect of the things that you are going to find probably in platforms such as your Brace, and they probably have a reason to use the time sensitivity of their transactions because they are dealing with real time interaction of the customer experience. So it's fair that they use the term as opposed to these guys using that term. And again, I think they have changed this positioning. Okay, so in 2019 they were sort of trying to differentiate themselves, but they ended up changing that. So we'll review that. Okay, so in 2020 they said the innovator of time aware customer experience. Again, in my mind, I don't see them being time aware. They don't have any sort of capabilities that would align them with the time aware capabilities. Announced the acquisition of Node Incorporation, an AI platform. In 2020 they acquired AI, which is very interesting. It was slightly early for AI, so they were doing something there that leverages CRM data and vast external sources to deliver an unparalleled level of predictability across the whole array of business use cases. Adding Node has the potential to bring impressive predictive accuracy to Sugar's platform and products, available data and signals to work better. Again, it's reading more like CDP platform in my mind. If you compare this with any of the CDP platforms, especially Klaviyo or Braze, something along those lines, if they're going to have CDP capabilities as part of their CRM bucket, CX bucket, then you are going to find all of these capabilities. So it seems like they are trying to do very similar things, but again, this is not a consumerized space. So you probably don't need CX capabilities here. So in my mind, it's just marketing positioning. It's misalignment. It's not necessarily the real capabilities. 2020 they are saying innovator of time aware CX, and they are continuing with the same strategy. Announced the acquisition of W Systems, a CRM and marketing automation solutions and services provider. W Systems, a division of and this is the reseller acquisition or the implementation partner acquisition. And if you remember, Salesforce tried to acquire a lot of implementation partners as well, just because they are trying to bring it back. They don't want to work with as many partners, and sometimes they are sort of trying to package the industry capabilities as part of the core offering as well. So that's why they would probably do this acquisition. Again, very interesting play here. If they were developing more of the CDP capabilities, then their acquisition is probably going to tell a very different story. But that's not what we are seeing here. Now, going back a little bit in time, 2019. Um, Here they are saying the company that helps organizations deliver exceptional customer experiences. So I think they changed their positioning a little bit, right? Announced today that it has acquired Sales Fusion. So this is the Sales Fusion acquisition, a leading provider of marketing solution. So this is where they got the whole the marketing piece, and now they are bucketing under the same buckets that your HubSpot, your Salesforce, the way they are going to bucket. So now we have the core CRM offering, which is your SugarCL. Then you have marketing automation offering, which is your SugarMarket, and then you have the customer service offering, which is your SugarServe. So now they are aligned with the market, aligned with the category. They are heading in the right direction, again, primarily because of private equity. Now they are saying Sugar's new intelligent customer experience platform. So now they are calling themselves intelligent as well. So a little bit of CDP mixing there, which unifies disparate data into a single time aware customer data model. So they have a little bit of CDP centric play. Again, I don't know how much CDP they are going to have, to be completely honest. They are not a data vendor. So in my mind, that is slightly misaligned, but we'll see what they have done after that. Then they have the renewals console as well, which is the real differentiator. And this is where their real capabilities are, which they are not trying to describe, because that's where I think a lot of customers are going to find real advantage in going, for SugarCRM. So this is the renewals, console, which is going to be aligned with their subscription-centric offerings, extensive customer customization and third-party integration with duration-based renewal services. And this is going to be, again, the subscription centric businesses. They are very hard. If you go in IT centric spaces, they are going to have substantial business model that is going to be around this. I think financial services companies are probably going to have this as well. So this is a huge differentiator for SugarCRM. 2020, again, they are still continuing with the same positioning, time aware CX, a new integration with Amazon Connect voice, chat, text messaging. This is right. This is going to be needed. 90% of the CRM companies are going to have this integration. So they are trying to integrate with Amazon, which is great. 2021 more acquisition of Loaded Technologies, a business consulting, CRM strategy, and cloud implementation services provider in Sydney, Australia. And then they have one of the distributor arrangement in Latin America as well. So sometimes these acquisitions are going to be because they are trying to penetrate into many different markets. So here they are going to get some of the Australian presence, and obviously the knowledge base that the consulting company is going to have. So that's why they would do this acquisition. Now 2022. So 2022 today announced the integrated playbook functionalities to support guided selling and advanced CRM process automation. So if they announced this in 2022, they were slightly ahead, because HubSpot, I would say, they are not as mature in these capabilities. They have just announced those, and they are not very rich. So again, very similar timing overall in these capabilities. And they are saying the functionality comes through the acquisition of Optify. So obviously they acquired a lot. So with this, you are going to have a lot of different products, as opposed to having just one product that is going to be designed from scratch. And that's why sometimes HubSpot is probably going to be slower overall in rolling out these features. But again, this is going to be very similar experience of any companies that are going to be private equity owned. With private equity companies, especially the ones that are going to be consolidators, they are trying to acquire a lot of capabilities, and somehow they are trying to integrate them, as well as rebrand them, changing things from the UX UI perspective, marketing perspective, and trying to make them look really great. But underlying, you are probably going to have a lot of problems in general, because they are acquiring a lot of companies. They might not talk to each other as well. Okay, so this is Optify has enabled more than 100,000 of the top B2B sales professionals in the world to define and manage best-in-class processes. Great. But again, that's going to be more for the guided selling component. So SugarCRM does have very deep CRM capabilities that you're not going to find with Salesforce, HubSpot. There you'll be using a lot more add-ons. In 2022, provider of award-winning AI CRM platform today announced global launch of new Sugar Outfitter software marketplace. So now they have a marketplace, and this is going to be wholly owned by SugarCRM following the acquisition of the platform. So they actually acquired a platform just to enable their marketplace. Salesforce had that inbuilt, but I think this would take a long time. That's why they had to acquire a product just for that. And now, because of that, they have roughly about 200 add-on solutions, and that's what is the power of CRM. So now, because of that, SugarCRM is probably going to be a lot more powerful. Add-on solutions support, a wide variety of capabilities, ranging from your computer telephony integration. So you have a million hardware providers, and all of those need to be integrated with the CRM. Otherwise, nobody's going to use them. Chat and SMS functionality to multi-factor authentication, sales territory management. There's a lot more that goes, as part of that CRM bucket, and marketers need all of that. So I don't know if you can cover one more slide. Maybe we can, and then we'll probably cover the comments. So 2023, here, yeah. So this is a pool and equipment manufacturer based in Sydney has selected SugarCell Advanced. This is probably the right fit. If you are going to be in the industrial sector, then SugarCRM, you are going to get much deeper capabilities in alignment with a lot of ERP vendors that you are not going to find with the other CRM systems. So this is the right selection. Here they are saying the Sugar deployment includes powerful integrations between Epicor Kinetic and SugarCell. And again, if you are in the Epicor ecosystem, Sugar probably should be one of the CRMs that you should be looking at. You will find a lot more challenges with HubSpot or Salesforce. Even if you like Salesforce or HubSpot, you will just find tighter alignment with these products. And it's very likely that you might find much higher success here as well. Powered by some sort of reseller by mapping data seamlessly between these platforms. But again, the add-on and the integration is owned by a reseller. So it's not necessarily integrated, but they have alignment with Epicor. One more story here. This is coming from CISPRO. So 2023, CISPRO, a global provider of industry-built ERP software and SugarCRM, provider of the award-winning AI-driven CRM platform, today announced a partnership, and this is a formal partnership that provides. So there with Epicor, they were working through a reseller. Here, it's a formal partnership between two OEMs, provider of the award-winning AI-driven CRM platform. Today announced a partnership that provides some mid-market manufacturers and distributors with a tightly integrated ERP and CRM solution. Again, that's a big deal. If you are going to be in the CISPRO ecosystem, you should definitely be looking at SugarCRM. Here, one more company, Creative Foam, implemented SugarCell as its manufacturing CRM solution to transition. Again, this is a great fit. If you are going to be a company similar to this, then you are probably heading in the right direction. To transition from manual spreadsheets to an all-in-one CRM platform, an advanced sales automation solution. And here they are saying Sugar platform seamlessly pairs with Creative Forms. And in this particular case, they have Plex. So we have seen 3 ERP systems now. We have seen Epicor, we have seen CISPRO, and now Plex. And these ecosystems obviously are very big. Overall, I guess combined, all of them, they are probably going to have more than 10,000, 20,000 logos. So that's a huge market for SugarCRM in general. And customers in these ecosystems should probably be looking at Sugar in general, just because you're going to have a much tighter alignment. So that's pretty much it. I'm actually gonna stop right here. So Shrestha, I don't know, you are gonna have any sort of comments?
I just felt like initially they were struggling a bit between their alignment in the market positioning capabilities they had, but I think they came on track later. And as you said, they have like deep capabilities for subscription centric business models, so for them they can be quite beneficial.
Could not agree more. I think great points. So if you're going to be in subscription centric spaces, or if you're going to be in those trade centric industries, especially in those ERP ecosystems, that's where you are going to find the highest value, based on this selection. Any more follow-ups, Shrestha, there, or can we wrap?
I think we can wrap.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. If you joined for the first time, this was part of our industry series for which we meet every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are going to be here next week. We are going to come back with another solution or the vendor. On that note, thanks everyone for tuning in today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.